Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. My dear viewers, welcome to another live edition of Ask Huda and our contact informations beginning with the phone numbers area code 002 then 02 132, alternatively area code 002 then 0100546933, and the WhatsApp numbers area code 001-347-80625, and last number is area code 001-361-489-1503, and we're live as well on my page Salah Official. Let me begin by tackling some of the questions which I received on the page from Maya Hadi. When I pray in a nafila after tashahhud, should I recite Ibrahimiyya? Sister Maya is referring to As-Salatul Ibrahimiyya. It's called As-Salatul Ibrahimiyya because we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. So in any prayer in the last tashahhud, whether it is the obligatory prayer or the nafila, as long as it is the last tashahhud. It could be only one rak'ah such as witr, or two rak'ahs such as any sunnah. You must recite the full tashahhud by the end. Only in the prayers which consist of two tashahhud, two sittings, one in the middle and one by the end, like Maghrib, Dhuhr, Asr and Isha, you get to recite in the first one at-tashahhud, at-tahiyyat, up to وَأَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. Then in the last sitting you recite what you call it the Durood Sharif or at-tashahhud entirely, including al-Ibrahimiyya Salah, which is Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Sister Nadia from Canada. السلام عليكم Sister Nadia.
Walaikum assalam, Sheikh. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope you and your family are doing great as well.
Alhamdulillah. My question is the reading Quran for a diseased parents helpful or beneficial?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get your question.
Like reading Quran or making a khatam, reading Quran for a diseased parents is beneficial?
Okay. Reading the Quran or making khatm al-Quran for a deceased person, is it permissible or not? Okay, any other questions?
My friend's her mom has a OCD. She is have like kind of like depression. And also she wants to know how to deal with her mom, and sometimes she has to like making excuses, something like say telling her a lie about some of the things, because otherwise it will be difficult to deal with her, like a small child. That's how she is. But my friends wants to know if she's making she's doing a sin by telling her mom sometime like lying to her. Otherwise her mom is difficult to deal with.
Sister Nadia, can you give me an example? Did your friend share with you the like of which, in some cases where she has to lie?
Yes,
Okay.
For example, her mom, when she goes out, because she has OCD, she doesn't want to touch anything. For example, when she comes home, she want to throw her clothes away. So she keeps, like, for example, her clothes, wash it, and lay for a long time. Then she give her back, like saying, "I bought this for you," because she doesn't remember. She has very severe OCD, very difficult to deal with people, like social. There is no social contact her mom has, but there's too much pressure on my friends. So she's dealing with her, but sometimes some like decision making or something, she has to like telling her something like lie to just deal with her, you know.
Okay. Okay. I got your question, Sister Nadia, and may Allah give her shifa. Muhammad from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
My first
barakatuh.
question is there. When we read Quran after Fajr, Sijda is there. We will make the Sijda, and then can we add our dua in it? And can we make this same thing every day for the like a habit regularly after Fajr prayer, and we can recite this ayat, make a sijda and make a dua. It's regular one daily. My second question is, nowadays I'm staying in Makkah. So I have seen the people are office people are making a Hajj. Like they usually go from at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock to Arafat, and then stay there. Then Mina, then Muzdalifah and Mina, and come back and next join the office. Then again they will make the same thing in the evening and then come back. They do this way, same thing. This is a type of way of doing Hajj is allowed, or it is okay?
Okay, I just want to make certain, Muhammad, you're asking about Hajj, not Umrah. They say, you said,
Hajj.
okay, so you said that they do it once only on the 9th day, which is the day of Arafah, correct? Or they do it more than once?
What do you mean by more than one?
Because you said they go in the
Every
morning.
year, my office people.
Your office people.
Yeah, we are working in Makkah.
Okay.
And they leave the office at about 3 o'clock and go to the Arafah, make Ihram and then go to the Arafah and then stay there after Maghrib, and then they go to the Muzdalifah and come back.
Okay.
And join office second day.
Now
second day again they will do the same. Is the ways they were because lot of Hujjah means Haji come from the other places.
Brother Muhammad, I got your question, but you know when you added the second day they do the same thing. That's weird. You mean they go to Mina, not to Arafah?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, because Arafah is only once a year.
Yeah.
So when you say on the second day, they say they do the same thing.
Same thing means they go to Mina and then in the
that's
night
not,
2 hours they spend and then come back.
Okay, that is not the same
make
thing.
a Jamrat.
That
And
is,
third day the same thing, Mina, and come back.
okay, I got your question. But that is not the same thing. Going to Arafah happens only once a year. Okay. You guys heard Muhammad's question, and I may tackle it after this call. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad from United Kingdom. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm doing great. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Muhammad.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. May Allah accept your Hajj, Sheikh,
and
all the pilgrims who went there as well.
Thank you, Sister.
Sheikh, I'd like to ask a question first related to Hajj. Alhamdulillah and shukrallah, this year my husband was able to go to Hajj, and
MashaAllah.
and the
MashaAllah.
pilgrim, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
It
Congratulations.
was a wonderful experience for him, alhamdulillah. It was a wonderful experience for him, Sheikh, and also for us, especially for me, because I feel like I was following him. On this note, I'd like to ask Sheikh, as obviously now my husband has been, and I, inshallah, with the call of Allah, would like to go one day. But we have a young family, and we are unable to leave the children with anybody. I wanted to ask what my options are. For example, do I sort of look forward to when we are able to financially go alone, or is it best that I consider waiting for when my husband is able to go again and we go together? That's question number one, really.
Okay.
Did you get that? Thank you. Okay. Question number two is not related to Hajj. It's a question I've had, a thought I've had in my mind for many years, obviously being a revert. When we pray, Sheikh, and we say the names of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in our prayers, I'm just curious why Prophet Ibrahim, for example, is mentioned in the prayer and no other prophets are mentioned. Just it's a curiosity of mine.
Okay.
If that is the answer to that question.
Okay.
Okay. Question number three. How could I best explain the word mahram to a non-Muslim? Up until now, I've sort of it's a man that I can't marry, for example, apart from my husband, and the other ones are members of my family who I'm unable to marry. I'd just like some clarification on that, if there's a better way for me to explain it.
Okay. Thank you, sister.
And the last question, Sheikh. Several months ago, I was getting ready to pray with a sister, and I saw some of her hair at the back of her hijab coming out, and I tucked it in for her, and I said, you know, your hair was showing, and she made the comment to me that the himar that we wear on our heads are just to cover our heads and our chests, and that it doesn't matter if the hair is showing. Can I have some clarification on that? I don't think, obviously, I disagree with that, but I'd just like some clarification on that point, please.
Sure. Okay.
Jazakallah.
Thank you, Sister. Muhammad from the UK. Sister Ruby from the USA. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Okay. Will you try again? Perhaps try a different number. I'm sure you've been waiting for quite a few minutes. Okay, let me begin by Sister Nadia then. From Sister Nadia from Canada. With regards to the practice of getting together and reciting the entire Quran on behalf of a dead person. This practice is something that neither Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, concluded for his own family members who died during his life, because as you know that all his children, with the exception of Fatima, died during his life. And then a bunch of the companions died during his life. So he's never done anything like that. And absolutely, if it was something precious, he would have done it. He would have gathered all the Sahaba in the masjid, or in somebody's house, say everybody is recite the whole Quran or whatever was revealed of the Quran in order to benefit that person. But he didn't. And what he did was, instead, when he buried somebody, he said, استغفروا لأخيكم فإنه الآن يسأل وسألوا الله له التثبيت. Seek forgiveness for your brother. He's been questioned right now, and ask Allah to keep him firm. And he highly recommended making istighfar, seeking forgiveness, and begging Allah to pardon the dead person, whether a family member, parents, friends, neighbors, or anyone whom you know, or the entire Muslim Ummah, those who passed away. So that is the thing which would benefit the dead person 100%. And the Prophet ﷺ said that a person in his grave will realize that he has been promoted, his seat has been promoted and upgraded in heaven. he will ask Allah, my Lord, what for? Because I haven't been doing anything. I'm sitting here in the grave. He says, بِدُعَاءِ وَلَدِكَ لَكَ, because of the prayers and the supplication of your son, you have been promoted. It can even intercede for a person to protect him entirely from any punishment and pick him up to a higher place in heaven, and so on. So a dua, fasting, if he or she owed any fasting, performing Hajj or Umrah, whether it is the mandatory Hajj or even a voluntary Hajj or Umrah in their state, the reward is guaranteed to reach them. Given in a charity on their behalf, also guaranteed to reach them. I like to stick to what the Prophet ﷺ did or said or recommended. Anything else, you can argue and you say by analogy to fasting, by analogy to Hajj, by analogy to whatever. But my advice is you can recite Quran or recite the entire Quran for your own self. And when you conclude the recitation of the Quran, you make dua for the dead person. We know that the dua for certain will benefit the dead person. For the deceased, it will be beneficial. But we don't know, or we know for sure that the Prophet ﷺ did not do this common practice, which is common in Pakistan, in India, in Bangladesh, and many parts of Egypt, getting together, giving everyone a para of the Quran to recite it and say, we made khatm, we finished the whole Quran for the dead person. I believe we all love Prophet Muhammad ﷺ so much so that we would do anything that he used to do. So the question is, how come he didn't figure this out on his own? Or he forgot? Or he did not want to do it for a reason or other? If he did not do it, why don't you just stick to what he approved and recommended? Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Your sister whose mother is having OCD and depression and she's not in the mood, so she has to tell her not the truth. Sometimes she is pardoned in this condition because she doesn't mean to harm her. Like the example you gave, that she's paranoid when she wears any clothes outside. If she thinks that somebody have touched them, she must throw them away. So she tells her mom that she bought the clothes for her. So you phrase this statement in a way that it is not actually a lie, which is called, there is another term for it, tawriyah. Okay? You give her what she wanted to hear, but it's not a lie. So you bought her the clothes in the first place, in the first time, right? So when she asks you where you got the clothes from, I bought it for you. Okay, so she's under the impression that you bought it like right now or brand new. Otherwise she wouldn't wear them. It's really, really problematic. So I understand where you're coming from. May Allah give shifa to your mom. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ruby from the USA. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Sheikh. I have two questions. The first one is, do you have any other way that I can contact with you if I have any question that I don't want to ask publicly? So,
Sister Ruby,
like,
yes, you do,
yes.
but in a very, very limited condition, because
Oh,
the brothers will pass on my number to you and keep it
okay.
very limited, like in cases where the questions cannot be asked on air.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Okay,
it's
and my
really
second
tough for me.
question.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. My second question is, I asked you last episode about eating food from others people, but I'm still confused in one point that if I avoid eating other people's food, will I be sinful? Like, because I know the rizq comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So will Allah will be angry if any food
Well,
comes in
then I
front of
have
me,
then I
and
have to
if I
ask you.
avoid that food?
Yes, then I have to ask you, Ruby, and why would you avoid eating people's food? People give you a gift.
Right, because of some kind of obligation, like because since if we are eating kind of long time from that person, but we cannot return him back the way that satisfied me or whoever is eating. So that's reason if we just try to avoid as much as we could, not completely stopping it because it's a relative. I know that it don't looks good, but as
Okay.
much as we could.
Well, if you don't eat it, your husband, your kids, somebody at home will eat it, or you can pass it on as a gift to others. Okay, if this is the case, but you know,
Okay.
to
Okay.
to like
Okay,
to
Sheikh. Thank you so
vow
much.
or to
Assalamu
say I'm
alaikum.
not eating this food, there must be a reason behind that. Thank you, Sister Ruby from the USA. So done with Sister Nadia's question from Canada. Sister Mariam from the UK. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, Sister Mariam?
Sheikh, how are you?
You sound very
Yes, I
far
can
away.
hear you, Sheikh.
Can you raise your voice, Mariam, please?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Mariam.
Sheikh, how are you? How are you, Sheikh?
I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. What are your questions? Mariam? Okay, you sound like you're calling from the UK. Why don't you try again? We have 4 different lines. Please try again, Sister Mariam. All right. Muhammad from the KSA. He asked a single question. It's about reciting some verses after the Fajr prayer which have a verse which requires a prostration, sajda tilawa. Then he asked, and in this sajda, can I extend my supplication in my own and so on? If that happens, coincidentally, because you're reading, mashallah, your sabaq, and you came across ayah in Surah Al-Sajda, anytime after Fajr, after Maghrib, whatever, go ahead. And in your sujood, recite your supplication, and you can make dua as well. That is permissible. You recited Surah Al-Hajj, and you happen to have 2 sajdas in Surah Al-Hajj. Likewise, go ahead and prostrate yourself, and after saying Subhana Rabbi al-A'la 3 times, you want to say any supplication, you may. But to make a habit every day after Fajr prayer, you recite certain verse which has a sajda, so you can make a sajda and you make dua. Now you're entering into the area of prescribing a new practice, which is not relating to the worship itself. It is prescribed that whenever you recite one of the 15 verses which are distributed throughout the Quran from Al-A'raf to Al-Alaq, where there is sajda, to make sujood, whether in the salah or outside the salah. But after a particular prayer, to do it on a regular basis, that's a new practice. I wouldn't do it. It would be categorized as an innovation. Also, when the Prophet ﷺ said that you are the closest to Allah when you are in the position of sujood, it means in the prayer. What people do of making a single sajda after the prayer in order to make dua, this is a practice which is categorized as an innovation again. There is no such sajda. The sujood is either sajdatul shukr, a prostration for gratefulness and gratitude upon receiving good news or being saved from an imminent harm. In any position, even if you don't have wudu, fall in prostration and make sajdatul shukr. A prostration of tilawa, whether you are the reciter or if the reciter recites ayah which have sajda and he makes sujood, then you should make sujood as well. Other than that, you do not initiate a sujood in order to make dua. A dua, you can make it anytime without being in sujood. But if you want to make dua within the prostration, then it must be during the prayer. Barakallahu feekum. Muhammad from the KSA. Sister Muhammad from the UK. Her husband, by the grace of Allah, performed Hajj. Alhamdulillah, may Allah accept. And now she's asking about her status as a mother of a bunch of young kids, they both cannot leave them alone. So the husband can go or she can go, but one has to stay with the kids. They don't have anyone to look after them. Having this picture in mind, for the time being, you're exempt from doing Hajj. But I love to go. Imam al-Shafi'i and Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on them, said a woman may travel for Hajj with a company which is described as a safe company, a group of people who will provide protection for you throughout the journey if this is for Hajj or Umrah. So if you want to take that opinion and go with a travel agent or a group of people like, some family members or relatives or friends you will be traveling with, ladies with their husbands or ladies alone, you can do that for the purpose of Hajj. But as far as the obligation, you're not obliged to perform Hajj until you have your husband or any of the mahram family members to travel with you. She also asked about who's a mahram then? A mahram is a person whom you're not allowed to marry permanently, not because you're currently married. So a cousin is not a mahram. Your own brother, whether blood brother from both parents or from one of the parents, he's mahram because they can never marry. You can never marry any of them forever, permanently, like your dad, like your son, like your brothers, like your uncles. Okay? So if any of them is Muslim and going for Hajj, you can travel with him. Alhamdulillah wa shukrillah. Also, he's a mahram if you're traveling anywhere else, even if they're not Muslims. Okay? But only I'm talking about Hajj because in order for them to visit Mecca and Medina, they gotta be Muslims. May Allah make them all Muslims if they're not. Your brother-in-law is definitely not a mahram. Your brother-in-law is like me exactly. I'm a foreigner to you. Likewise, your brother-in-law. Your father-in-law is a permanent mahram though. Okay? She also asked about covering the hair in the prayer. For women, covering the hair in the prayer is like outside the prayer before people are not mahram. A full hijab must be worn while offering the prayer, even if you are praying by yourself in the privacy of your bedroom. Can I, as a man, pray while wearing a pair of shorts? No, the prayer is invalid. Because I'm not covering the awrah. And the awrah of a woman in the prayer is from head to toe with the exception of the face and the hands. So if the hair is showing, that invalidates the prayer. If she does that deliberately, or if she knows and she doesn't care of that. Okay? I hope inshallah our sisters will take care of that. Wear a proper hijab while offering the prayer. As why in the Durud Sharif we mention the name of Ibrahim, who's the father of the prophets. Because we all relate to Ibrahim alayhi salam, whether Muslims or the followers of Prophet Moses who are Muslims, or the followers of Prophet Jesus who are Muslims. Ibrahim alayhi salam is the father of all such prophets. In a sense, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qualified him for the prophethood, and he was, as Allah stated in the Quran, he was a nation by himself. He was a nation by himself because he was the only believer on earth. Inna Ibrahim kana ummah. He was a nation by himself. And from his line, his offspring, Ismail, who's from offspring, is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ishaq, who's from his offspring, there came Yaqub and his 12 sons, Al-Asbat, then Musa and Isa, and in between Zachariah and John, Zachariah and Yahya, and all those prophets. Okay? So Ibrahim alayhi salam was the father of the prophets and Khalilur Rahman, and whoever believes in Ibrahim and Muhammad, he must accordingly believe in the rest of the prophets and the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We as believers make no distinction between any of them. That is stated both in the Quran and as an article of faith, that every Muslim must fulfill in order to be pronounced as Muslim. Inshallah, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Please stay tuned. Meanwhile, I will collect your questions from the Facebook page right now. If you have asked any question during this segment, to be answered in the next one, inshallah. Please stay tuned.
I spend my life running away from you. Now I have nowhere to turn except to you.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created man. And man has outer features as well as inner features. One of the most important of his inner features is his heart. So what is the heart? What is meant by this heart that is in our bodies? And what is the health of the heart? And what is the disease of the heart? There are many diseases of the heart, and there are many actions of the heart, things that make it healthy. So what are these diseases? What are these actions? Come and join us on Huda TV in this program of ours.
Wash the filth away. Don't leave me drowning here, alone and astray. Don't leave me drowning here, alone.
We will learn about how to be a great father to our children, and that's from looking at Yaqub alayhi salam, the father of Yusuf alayhi salam. I'm your brother Asim Khan. Please join me for this episode of Gems from Surah Yusuf.
Believe it or not, there is no universal definition for the word terrorism. In United Nations, there's a lot of debates, no agreement on how to define terrorism. They have no mercy. They have no feelings. Killing kids, killing an 80 years old priest in the church. Even the soldier, the enemy that you fight in a legit fight, if he is in a state of safety and security, not expected to be harmed, you're not allowed to harm him. But even other historians and other theologians said, no, Al-Khawarij started even in the Prophet ﷺ time. Hijacking airplanes, destroying urban areas and buildings, public properties, targeting civilians, and all these kind of things that the terrorist group do today. And he said it's absolutely forbidden in Islam.
I spend my life running away from you. Now I have nowhere to turn except to you.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created man. And man has outer features as well as inner features. One of the most important of his inner features is his heart. So what is the heart? What is meant by this heart that is in our bodies? And what is the health of the heart? And what is the disease of the heart? There are many diseases of the heart, and there are many actions of the heart, things that make it healthy. So what are these diseases? What are these actions? Come and join us on Huda TV in this program of ours.
Wash the filth away. Don't leave me drowning here, alone and astray. Don't leave me drowning here alone.
We will learn about how to be a great father to our children, and that's from looking at Yaqub alayhi salam, the father of Yusuf alayhi salam. I'm your brother Asim Khan. Please join me for this episode of Gems from
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Sister Sabah from Canada, welcome to Ask Huda.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Sheikh, congratulations for your Hajj, and make dua for us that we also make it possible, like a Hajj for us.
Inshallah,
Yeah,
Sister Sabah. May Allah
yeah,
bless you and
Sheikh,
your
just
family.
I have a, yeah. Thank you, Sheikh. I have a simple question. These days, it's very common. People are just forwarding one hadith of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that he once said that treat your children equally, but whenever you do treat them differently, then make sure to treat your daughter better. So I don't know. Somehow I feel that this is not authentic hadith, and I said somebody that I don't think it's authentic. So somebody quoted me saying Al-Sunan, Al-Khubar, some 11090, which I personally went into that book, but I never saw this sort of a hadith. So I just wanted to be sure, is this
Why
a
don't
valid
you
hadith
why,
or
why
not?
don't you send me the text, Sister Sabah? If you're watching online right now, just send it in the comment bar. I'd like to take a look at it. As you know, that brothers and sisters, in reality, there is no distinction between a male and a female in Islam. There is no distinction based on gender whatsoever. The Quran says in Surah Al-Nahl, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة ولنجزينهم أجرهم بأحسن ما كانوا يعملون. So the reward, whether in this life or in the hereafter, is for the good deeds and the good doers, irrespective of their gender. من ذكر أو أنثى, whether a male or a female. In Surah Al-Imran, by the end, after a long supplication, Allah says, فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ أَنِّي لَا أُضِيعُ عَمَلَ عَامِلٍ مِّنكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنثَى بَعْضُكُم مِّن بَعْضٍ. Likewise, we have some ahadith which are in favor of having daughters, and that is because before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to those people, the Arab have always disregarded having girls, to the extent that they used to bury their daughters alive out of feeling shame. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden that, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if Allah blessed you with 4 daughters, they will be a veil for you against hellfire if you raise them properly, if you educate them, if you make them righteous. They said, what about only 3 daughters? He said, and 3. What about 2? He said, and even if it is only 2, as a means of encouraging them to look after their daughters, to take care of them, they will be a means of veiling them and protecting them against hellfire. And then they said, if we asked him for even 1 daughter, he would have said, even if you have 1 daughter, provided أَدَّبَهَا فَأَحْسَنَ تَأْدِيبَهَا, you educate her, you bring her up in the best way, you teach her what is good, so she grows up as a righteous girl. Khalas, she is your screen against hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all righteousness and enable us to take care of our children, whether boys or girls. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Maryam from the United Kingdom. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. How are you?
I'm doing great, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Go ahead, Sister Maryam.
I live in the UK, where a lot of students take a student loan to go to university. However, I'm aware that of the fact that the loan has interest, and I have heard from many sheikhs that Allah declares war on those who take or participate in riba. For this reason, I didn't take the loan. My mom has paid for my first year of uni. However, neither my mom or my dad can afford to pay for my university fees anymore. I am a student midwife and have 2 more years left to qualify. Can you advise me on whether I should take the loan or drop out of uni and do something else that doesn't include interest?
طيب, Sister Mariam, I really appreciate the eloquent way you presented your question. And there I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable you to finish your education without having to take an interest-based loan. May Allah make it easy for you. What you heard from the scholars was not what they said. They just quoted what Allah said in the Quran. So I hope that, and this is what is mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah as well. So I hope one of the audience in the UK will come forward and say that I'd like to give Sister Mariam a goodly loan, a loan that he will collect once you finish your education, your parents are capable to finish, to settle your debt, or you pick up a job and you're capable to settle your debt. May Allah make it easy for you, Sister Mariam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Umar from Canada.
Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hope you are doing fine. I have 4 questions. My family and I have recently migrated abroad, and my question is regarding prayers. I have come to one city, but I don't know how long I will have to stay here. I might have to move today, tomorrow, or maybe after a month. It all depends on where I end up with a job. Am I allowed to shorten and combine my prayers, or do I have to pray as a resident? Please clarify. Also, when it comes to shaking hands with the opposite sex, how do I politely refrain from it without offending them? Third is, I'm looking to purchase a vehicle with 0% financing. Is it permissible, or I should get something that I can afford to pay on cash? And my 4th and last question is, I want to know about mortgage. If I were to purchase a house, it has to be mortgage unless I can pay the bulk in cash. Is it permissible to get a house on mortgage? Is there any Islamic home mortgage available in Canada?
Okay. طيب. Got your questions. Brother Umar from Canada. Brother Hassan from Sudan. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Go ahead, Hassan.
Sheikh, I'm watching Huda TV every day to learn the English.
Okay.
I'm listening to the Quran, mashallah, alhamdulillah.
So, my dear brother, do you have any questions today? Okay. Muhammad from France. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, Sheikh, I have a question that about Surah Alaq. So, hello, Sheikh.
Yes, I hear you.
Hello. Okay. Okay, Sheikh. I have a question about Surah Alaq. It's about the second ayah. It's called Ikra bismi rabbika allazi khalaqal insana min alaq. So it means humans are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the humans are made from clot of blood. So one non-believer make a video about this. So we are not made from clot of blood. We are made from semen. So I know there is no mistake in the Quran. So can you please clarify this? So I'll be happy enough if you clarify this.
Jazakallah
Okay.
khair. Muhammad,
Okay,
this is the second stage, The word alaq is the second stage in the creation of the womb as a human being. But the right order is nutfa, which is a sperm, and the nutfa represents the zygote, which is a sperm and the woman's egg. And then that after the fertilization takes place, it develops into a hanging blood clot in the wall of the womb, and that is called the alaq. Okay, alaqa. Then al-mudgha, then it turns into something similar to a morsel of flesh. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates the bones and so on. So there are no errors or anything. As a matter of fact, it goes in harmony perfectly with embryology, which is a recent science, while the Quran was revealed 1400 years ago and more. So the Quran says in more than one position, take for instance in Surah Al-Hajj, يا أيها الناس, O people, إن كنتم في ريب من البعث فإنا خلقناكم من نطفة. This is what you're referring to, the sperm. O people, if you're doubting the process of al-ba'th, which is resurrection, so let me remind you with your origin, how we created you in the first place, to know that the process of your creation is very simple. Adam was created from turab. Then every human being afterward, after Adam and Eve, were created min nutfah, the sperm. The sperm, not the sperm alone, sperm with the fertilizing the woman's egg. ثم من علقة, that is the second stage, which is al-alaq, the hanging blood clot. ثم من مضغة, then it turns into a morsel of flesh, like a little bite. Okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you skip a few words, ثم نخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ومنكم من يتوفى ومنكم من يرد إلى أرض للعمر. So this is like, you know, the graph of the entire life cycle of the human being. Okay? So the nutfa, then the alaqa, then the mudgha. Barakallahu feek. Muhammad from France. Umar from Canada. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad from Germany. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. And my question was today, what's the ruling on wiping over the socks? Can I wipe on my socks if it get wet? For example, I stand on a wet place and it get wet and if it have hole, you know, can I still wipe on it, or I have to put a new one?
Got your question. Any other questions?
And the other one is the dhikr, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. Is it enough to say only in the morning, or I have to say in the morning and the night?
طيب. يا أخي Muhammad from Germany, the hadith talks about the virtues of reciting La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahu al-mulk wa lahu al-hamdu, yuhyi wa yumitu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, 100 times. And whoever says it during his day will be protected throughout the day and would receive such and such a reward if you say it 100 times. According to the text of the hadith, it is about once. It is about once, saying it once. So if you say it in the morning, you receive that protection until the evening. If you say it at Asr, you receive that protection and you still get the rest of the package of the reward throughout the day. But that protection will be until the evening. So the requirement is the minimum 100 times a day. Obviously, if you say it 1,000 times or more, that is better for you. The more you recite adhkar, the more it is beneficial for the reciter. When you wipe over your socks, I said, provided you have wudu before you put them on. Muhammad's question is, what if they get wet? Like I was walking and they got wet. They got wet with clean water or impure water. Clean water, it's okay. Your wudu is still valid and you can still wipe. It rained and they got soaked with water. It's okay. You wipe on top of these socks, barakallahu fikum, for a resident, a day and night, and for a traveler, 72 hours or 3 days and 3 nights. Umar from Canada. Omar said, if I travel somewhere looking for a job and I'm staying to an uncertain period of time, I'm not sure when would I finish. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe I end up staying for a month. So how long do I get to shorten and combine my prayer? If you have not decided your stay period, then even if it lasts for months, several months, it's okay. You keep shortening the prayer and combining whenever it is needed. Only when you decide, khalas, I'm sitting here. If you decided from day one, I'm staying for 1 week, and you know, so it's more than 4 days, then according to the vast majority of the scholars, you should pray on full from day one, because you already know you're staying for 1 week. But I really don't know. I may finish tomorrow, but it's not done yet. Maybe 3 days later, I stayed, but something else popped up, a new opening, a new interview here and there. As long as you have not decided nor determined how long will you stay, you keep shortening your prayer and enjoy it. With all the questions regarding the mortgage and buying a vehicle and taking a loan with interest, whether a student loan or whatever, I like to refer you all brothers and sisters to amjaonline.org. This is our Sharia Scholar Association for North America, and the questions which are considered some sort of contemporary questions, whether financial or medical or dietary with regards to food, what to eat and what not to eat, halal and haram. Especially with the banks, you will find a list of banks which claim to be Islamic or give halal loans. Obviously, no one would give you a loan for 20 years to buy a house to enjoy you and your kids living in a house. Then after 20 years, you'll give him his money as the same. But there is a method where they make a partnership so that the creditor will make a profit, not because he's a creditor, but as an investor. And you too, you're a debtor. You're not a debtor anymore. You're an investor as well. You invested a little bit in that house, 10%, 15%, 35%, and the creditor or the creditors invested the remaining percentage. So they make a profit, you rent from them their part, you buy it whenever you have the means on a regular basis or whenever you have a schedule you agreed to. So the halal providers are listed on amjaonline.org. We'll tell you exactly what is a true halal bank and what is true riba bank, even if it says it is no riba bank. It will help you a great deal, inshallah. The issue of shaking hands with a woman, there is a general consensus among Muslims that it is forbidden in Islam. Sometimes, where there are some exceptions, whenever there is really, number one, in case of feeling absolutely secure against the fitna or the trial, like shaking hands with a very old woman, and under certain circumstances. But otherwise, generally speaking, neither Prophet Muhammad shook hands with a woman who's not lawful for him, nor did he permit that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to what is best. We ran out of time, brothers and sisters. Until next episode, I'll leave you all in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen